Hello and welcome to Liz at Home in Cape Town, South Africa. Here is my Table Mountain, and today I'm going to be sharing what I coloured in April with you. I've actually done, for me, quite well this month. I've coloured over 20 pictures, so I'm amazed personally that I did that many. And I've tried to take a note this month of what everything is. The first one I did is this, which is by Amy Brown, and it's from a Patreon. I was on her Patreon in 2018, and it's a Patreon page from 2018. I don't know if you can see the shiny moon. I used metallic watercolors there. I used this, I love this Moon Glow. It's a Daniel Smith paint, and then I used some various watercolors on that. I printed this picture. This came as a PDF. All the Patreon pages come as PDFs, and I printed this picture on Archer's hot press watercolor paper. So that's that one. Enjoy the shine. And then the next one I did, let me go. Now, I did a number. This was a new book for me. I was so thrilled to get this. I ordered it off Amazon, and it's the first Belber family book that I've had, and I really love it. And I started it at the back, and I've done one picture that wasn't at the back. This one was done for a hashtag. Now I need my reading glasses. I used touch markers for it, and it's for Jamie's breakdown prompts for April, and this was R for Rose. So that's that one, and there's nothing other than markers on it, but I like the colors they give. This one is touch markers and Sergeant Art gel pens. So I also bought myself some touch markers, which I actually didn't show in my haul. And I think the gel pens add just that little bit to the butterfly. When I first started colouring, and I didn't actually know what to do, I felt quite lost when I first started. I went on Facebook and somebody had some glitter gel pens, and I was mesmerized by them. So since that day, I've always wanted to colour a butterfly in glitter gel pens. This one I did with Crayola Super Tips and a light blue Arteza gel pen, because I didn't have that colour in the Crayola. So I made a mistake here, but I'm not going to tell you where it is. This one I did with big markets, and I was trying to use some of them up. I must actually go and fetch all the pens I've finished. And this one, which is the first one I did in this book, I just used touch markers. So I was quite pleased with that, and I'll definitely colour some more in this book this month. It's such a nice, relaxing, don't have to think, listen to an audiobook kind of colouring, and I had an absolute ball. I was so much joy colouring in this, so I really loved that. Then in this old book of mine, Don't Worry, Be Happy by Thania McCardle, again an easy colouring. I did this with big markets, and I did this on day one after my operation on my first eye. So I did it with only one eye, because the eye that was operated on was closed up. But I felt, just because of the stress I'd been feeling and everything, I felt the need to colour, and that's why I took out this book. And there's a quote by John Lennon here saying, "You don't need anybody to tell you who you are or what you are. You are what you are." And that is so true. So I don't think that's too bad, actually. I've always liked that book for times when I'm feeling like something easy. This is from an Alexandra Francesi book, Color by Number Floral Mandalas. I bought the PDF book of hers. She's one of the artists that used to do Jade Summer books, and I actually loved doing this so much. I just found with the PDF that when it prints, don't know if you can see, I think I've got it upside down, that the numbers are quite, they're not crisp. So, and I printed this on A4 and it is actually formatted for US letter size. That's why it didn't come out straight on the page. But that doesn't really bother me at all. So I just did that. Then this is from Jennifer Stay. It's a book called Mandala Bliss Volume 3. And I had this one printed on watercolor paper, which they do when you order from them. And I had such fun with this. I used Koi watercolors and the shiny ones by KJ Design by Karen, which is from Etsy. And I used a triadic color scheme. If you don't know what that is, then let me know in the comments if you want me to talk to you a little bit about the color wheel or anything there. But I thought that came out it was quite an interesting color mix. It's not colors I would have actually used together, but they look okay, and I like the shine again. So that was fun. You can see with my eyes that I did a lot of things that were big spaces. Then this one has just been shown with the 3-part color along. I used Derwent Artist Pencils, Derwent Drawing Pencils, Gold Sparkle Pop Pens, White Speedball Calligraphy Ink, Stabilo Felter Pens, various fine liners, and this is for the April Color Your Hoard from Lavella's Coloring, which I don't think I got the photo in time, but maybe I'll just add it to the May Color Your Hoard, I'll see. Or I may just leave it out, I'm not sure. So that's that again with some shine and sparkle. Then I felt moved to do one of these Color by Numbers by George Tufexis. I've always found these numbers too difficult to see, and I wanted to try my new eyes out. So I still find them difficult, but easier than it was before my eyes were done. I used again my Stabilo Felter pens. I used some Crayola colors of the world markers for the sheep, because I didn't have these colors in the felt tips. And some Faber-Castell Pitt pens as well. So I'm quite happy with how that turned out. I find these, I don't know, I get tired of them. I like them when I start and then I get tired doing them. I think for Color by Number, for me, I like it to be larger spaces and a quick, relaxing, no hassle coloring. Another Color by Number this is another favorite book of mine. This was a gift for me. And I did this page, and let me read what all I did. So I used big markers, I used Sharpies, and I used touch markers. And I made a note here that in things like Sharpies and big markers, and even the touch markers, I find difficulty finding colors like beige and different browns and different oranges. But I enjoyed coloring this, and I found the colors interesting. I mean, I would never color a shell like that or the pebbles like this, but it actually turns out quite prettily. So that's that one. I do enjoy those books. Then another Color by Number, you can see the kind of frame I was in, was this one's the Stained Glass book, a Stained Glass by Such and Such Diva, Color by Number. And this was touch markers, and I used double layers in some of the places just to make sure the colors came out nicely. I do think these pictures are pretty and the color choice is pretty. So excuse me while I have a cup of tea. Not a cup, here's my cup. I'm having a sip of tea. Another color by number that I did was from this Fairy Magic color by number by Color Questopia. Her eyes turned out and her mouth a bit of a mess, and I should have actually put some, I meant to put some washi tape around there, but I forgot. I used touch markers and Sucolor glitter gel pens, and then I used a ball sign shadow gel for going over the lines. I prefer the black background because it's quite difficult with the markers not to go over the lines, but you can see there's a little bit of glitter on the wings there and the ball sign on the silver. So that's that one. Then in this book, Faith and Harmony, this was I like my pink sheet for Jamie's breakdown prompts for April, P for pastel, and for Lavella's April 22 color your hoard. So I used Corey's pastel pencils, Pine Tar pastel metallic markers, and Stabilo pastel fine liners. So you can see the metallic markers, they ate up the paper a little bit, but not too bad. And I quite like how this turned out. This has got a quote from Luke in the Bible, Luke chapter 1 verse 37, and it says, "For nothing will be impossible with God." So that's my pastels one. Then this was another color along that I did here on the channel from Country Kitchen Charm by Teresa Goodrich. I used the lovely Neone colored pencils, a Prismacolor blender, and I completed this on the 15th of April, and it's for April 2022 Color Your Stash from Lavella's Coloring. I hope some of you joined in with this one. Then I did this from Fantasy Designs. This book I bought a while ago by Erin Pocock, and then I've never colored in it, as seems to be my wont. I used touch markers, Cora's pencils, Holbein 20 pastel pencils, which I used as a base on the wings. I used glossy accents on the eyes of the beasties, flies. Don't know if you can see the shine. I hope so. I used a white Posca pen. I used Pentel Sparkle Pop, also there on the gold of the leaves. I used Folk Art Extreme Glitter Holographic Paint on the wings here. I don't know if you can see them shining. I think I need to bring this light closer. There we go. So that's the Folk Art Extreme Glitter Holographic Paint, which you paint over the colors you've used. It's sort of see-through. I used Marabou art crayons on the background, and I did this for Sarah at Chronic Colouring Down Under's Coloropoly, and I had to color an ugly bug, and that was my ugly bug. So I hope you like that one. That was also, sorry, let me bring that back. This fit a few things. This was also for Jamie's breakdown prompt for April, and aircraft colors something that flies. So there we are. Then in this picture I started, and it was a whip in, no, it wasn't this one, that was a whip. This one I did this month. I did it as a color along in Coloring Book Color Along, the group that I belong to. I can't get my camera straight somehow or other. There we are. I used Staedtler Ergo Soft pencils in this, and I used Stabilo Carbothello on the background, and I used Derwent pastel pencil on the top of the page there. So I'm going to keep that there so that I know what colors to do if I do the second page. This is from Menuet de Bonheur. Beautiful book, and it's again the first picture I've colored in it. So I feel quite pleased with myself and the fact that I've colored in so many things for the first time. Then this little book by Brigitte van Besseau, South African lady, a South African young girl. I used to teach her sister singing. This was also for Chronic Colouring Down under Coloropoly, and I had to colour something spooky. So that's what this was, and it's also for April Colour Your Hoard at Lavella's Colouring. I used Sharpies, Bic Markets, Ohuhu alcohol markets, Arteza gel pens, glitter paint, the acrylic hologram again. So you can see the acrylic hologram on the, I hope you can, on the ghost. It's not showing up. Come on, shine for me. And I did metallic paint and then the holographic paint on the moon. It's quite a cute little book, this. It's, isn't that gorgeous? Shattered. She drew all of these herself. She used to have an Etsy shop. She doesn't anymore. Then I did this picture here and just used markers, and I didn't write down which I used, but I'm getting through this book and loving every minute of it. I think the book will be finished by the time the year is out. In Romantic Country, I completed this picture that was a whip last month. So I used Giotto Turbo Giants underpainting for some of the pictures. Then I used the QLC 120 pencils, another in America I think they're marketed under Markart. Then I used gel pen with glycerine over the top for some of the shading on the plants, on the fruits, on various places. And I used a Derwent blender pencil and a white Prismacolor. And I started this in March and I finished it on April the 4th. I also used Holbein pastel pencils on the teapot and cup. And I did a pan pastel background, and I sprayed it with workable fixative at the end. So that was a huge work for me, and I was very worried about the cup and saucer not working in the colors, but at the end of the day I think it all comes together. I decided on adding the purple to try and tie the whole lot in together, so I'm quite pleased with that. Here, one of my bigger pieces, Romantic Country, the third tale. Then in this one, this again, Do What You Love, Do It Often. It's another book I really enjoy coloring in when I feel like being just free. I did this little Japanese lady. I did it on the 4th of April. I used Arteza 72 set of pencils. I used Sargent Art gel pens with glycerine to do some shading. I used Pintor art markers, the pastel set, in various places, and I used some big intensity fine point pens in various places. So I quite like how she turned out. You can see the dull sort of glow from the Pintor metallic markers. I've done quite a lot in this book. It's another book, maybe I'll finish it this year. I'll see. And then I did one buddy color only this month, and I did the buddy color with the lovely Be Cozy, and I will link her channel below here, and I will put her picture up after this picture because I have it on my computer so you can see her coloring. This was also for pastel, for Jamie's breakdown prompts for pastel. I used touch markers, Holbein pastel and pan pastels. And I quite like how she turned out. I think these are so cute, these little flower sprites. Here is Be Cozy's beautiful completed image. I love it. So that is all my coloring for this month, and I hope that you've enjoyed seeing them, and I hope that maybe you will join me again to see another video one of these days. And if you can think about it, to click the like if you've enjoyed the video, as that helps me. And if you're interested in any of the products, please ask about them and I'll link them. There's so many products that unless I'm asked about them, I don't think I'm going to put links up. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful and colorful week. Bye-bye now.